Good morning, afternoon, Math 2 crew. We're now starting another section. It's section 8.9. And you have all used the quadratic formula before. And so what we'll do is we'll revisit the quadratic formula. And I will derive the formula for you. And also expect you to check out the calendar on the website, goo.gl/Q NRF4 capital A. Check the calendar out. We've got the homework assignment on there, the practice questions, so that you can access those anywhere, any place, anytime, as long as you have internet. So, 8.9, section 8.9. The page number, let's see what page that's on. It looks like it's on page 471, 8.9, so I'll write that down. That's the page number. And we're looking at section 8.9. And so the essential question here is, how can you derive the quadratic formula and use it to solve quadratic equations? Well, the quadratic equations that we've been solving have been in this form. It's called standard form. And when you set that equal to 0, you are attempting to solve it. Now, we had seen prior that if it's not written in this form, we can complete the square. And we did complete the square recently. And what we want to do now is come up with a method where completing the square might be too difficult, factoring the quadratic equation might not be possible. And so there is another technique. It's called the quadratic formula, and it works every single time. And what it says is if you have a quadratic written in standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, then you can use this formula to solve for x. Now what the formula says is, it says if you know the coefficients of x squared, of the x term, and the constant c, then you substitute those values into this formula. Oh, missed it. Let me go back. Substitute the values of a, b, and c into this formula, and simplify the formula by working with the radical first, clearing up the radicand, and simplifying the fraction that remains if possible. And that becomes a solution of the quadratic equation. It's that simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to derive the quadratic formula. And so bear with me. Your assignment allows you to skip certain sections on the notes. Check the calendar out. Okay? So here we go. Let's look at the derivation of the quadratic formula. So I just said that we know that the quadratic equation written in standard form can be, the coefficients can be used to solve the quadratic by using the formula. So how's that formula derived? Well, I'm going to complete the square of this standard quadratic equation. So bear with me. Here's how this works. I'm going to take the c, the constant c, I'm going to move that over. But prior to doing that, remember that value of a, we always want to divide by that coefficient to ensure that we have a coefficient of 1. Okay? So I'm going to move this value over. And so this becomes x squared plus b over a times x equals negative c over a. Okay, let's take this this middle term, take half of it, now let's square that. And if you're confused there, think about what I did. B times b is b squared. 2 times 2 is 4, and a times a is a squared. Okay? Now let's So the factored quadratic on the left side is x plus 2a squared. Let me repeat that. X plus b over 2a. That quantity squared. And that's going to equal. Now here's I want you to pay attention to this negative c over a. The 4a is the common denominator, so I would have to multiply each side here by 4. Again, the numerator and denominator by 4. So this becomes negative 4c over 4a plus b squared over 4a. Cleaning this up, you end up with b squared minus 4c over 4a. Now, it's a slight error here. This b squared, I forgot the square. So let me clean this up. It has the square. And so that means that this has to be 4a squared. So I'd have to multiply by a right here, 4a. This also be 4a. So my mistake. So your common denominator is 4a squared. So this is b squared minus 4ac, see it? All over 4a squared. Okay, so that's tricky business there, guys, what I just did there. Very, it's just very messy, and it's basic math, finding common denominators, but variables, it seems rather complicated. So now let's take the square root of each side. Okay, so this becomes x plus b over 2a equals plus or minus. Now it's the square root. I'm going to break this up using the quotient property. B squared minus 4ac. Now pay attention. All over 4a squared. You're taking the square root of that. Let me use the product property here. And so square root of 4 is 2. Square root of a squared is a. So this becomes just 2a. So I have, now I'm going to subtract the b over 2a. So this is going to be subtracted too. It's going to end up on the other side, okay? So we have x equals, it's going to be negative b over 2a. Okay, plus or minus. Watch closely. I still have the square root of b squared minus 4ac, but the denominator is 2a. So we have a common denominator here of 2a and 2a, so this becomes x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, all over the common denominator of 2a. And that is the derivation of the quadratic formula. Wow, we did it. Okay, guys, like I always say, study hard to learn a lot, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.